Well, federal conservative leader and opposition leader Pierre Poilievre is speaking to reporters in Toronto this hour. Let's listen live to the remarks.
On voit que le coût de la vie est en hausse et s'accélère encore. Les déficits de 60 milliards de dollars que Justin Trudeau a ajoutés dans son dernier budget ont gonflé le coût de tous les produits qu'on achète et l'intérêt qu'on paye. Le mois dernier, la ministre des Finances nous a promis que le problème de l'inflation a été réglé. Et maintenant, on voit que ce n'était pas le cas. Et les conséquences de 8 ans de Justin Trudeau sont réelles pour des vrais êtres humains. C'est une crise des humains, des vraies personnes qui souffrent à cause des politiques de Justin Trudeau après 8 ans. Le coût de nourriture a gonflé de 20% dans 2 ans à cause des taxes sur les fermiers et les camionneurs qu'a imposé Justin Trudeau. Le coût de logement a doublé depuis 8 ans de Justin Trudeau à cause des déficits inflationnistes qui augmentent les taux d'intérêt sur les hypothèques et à cause de la bureaucratie.
And the bureaucracy that stops the construction of homes. So we have 1 out of every 5 Canadians skipping meals because they cannot pay for groceries. We have 1.5 million who must go to a food bank because of the fact that their food is too expensive. We have 9 out of 10 young people who believe they will never be able to buy a house. That's never been the case before Justin Trudeau. And we have people living in tents, nurses who live in their cars, a carpenter that I met in Northern Ontario who must live in a parking lot because of the increase of rent that we see after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau is not worth it. He's not worth it. We need to replace him. The good news is that it wasn't like this before Justin Trudeau, and it won't be like this after Justin Trudeau. We will use the common sense of Mr. and Mrs. Everybody to fix the problems that Trudeau has caused. We will lower prices by eliminating taxes and inflationist deficits. We will make paychecks stronger by reducing taxes so that Canadians can bring back more of their pay home. We will make houses and apartments more affordable by insisting that municipalities accelerate construction permits, and otherwise they will lose infrastructure funds from the federal government. We will make our streets safer by putting real relapsing criminals in prison. That is common sense, and that's what I will bring back once I am Prime Minister.
Now in English. Well, Justinflation has struck again. Trudeau's inflationary taxes and deficits have sent prices rising again, with inflation on the march. Trudeau told us that he had the problem fixed last month. Well, it turned out that was not true. His carbon tax is driving up gas, heat, and groceries. The $60 billion of additional inflationary deficits he added last budget, are now bidding up the goods we buy and the interest we pay. This was entirely predictable, and we warned him it would be the case. Worse, after 8 years of Trudeau, housing costs have doubled. The rent has doubled, mortgage payments have doubled, the needed down payment has doubled. Here in Toronto, it now takes 25 years for the average person to save for a down payment. Before Trudeau, you could pay off an entire mortgage in 25 years. Now that's how long it takes just to get a mortgage. Rent has risen almost 100% under Trudeau. and his policies. And now, I used to talk about the 35-year-old living in his mom's basement. People thought that was crazy. Now, that's the least of our concerns. Now the worry is that that 35-year-old and his mom will be evicted and moving into a tent. There are tent cities in almost every major Canadian centre after 8 years of Trudeau. We have nurses living in vans. I've got a carpenter who lives in his car. We have seniors in Penticton who live in parking lots, middle-class seniors in Canada after 8 years of Justin Trudeau. The good news is, to all of those people who are hungry, who worry about losing their homes, who believe they have no future because they can't afford one after 8 years of Trudeau, the good news for them is that there is hope. Canada was not like this before Trudeau, and it will not be like this after he's gone. We're going to turn the hurt that he has caused into the hope that Canadians need. A common-sense Conservative government will bring home lower prices by axing the carbon tax and by capping spending and cutting waste to balance the budget and bring down inflation and interest rates. We will bring home powerful paychecks by lowering income tax, so hard work once again pays off. We will bring homes people can afford by removing the bureaucracy and taxes that block home building. Canada has the fewest homes per capita in the G7 because bureaucrats and gatekeepers block construction. I will require big cities permit 15% more home building per year or lose their federal infrastructure grants. Those that beat that goal will get a building bonus. And I'll require every federally funded transit station be surrounded by high-density apartments so that our seniors and our youth can live right next to the bus or train. We'll sell off 6,000 federal buildings and thousands of acres of federal land to build the homes that will put roof overhead for our working class people. And those homes will be in safe streets. We will bring in jail and not bail for repeat violent offenders. We will invest in treatment and recovery, not more tax-funded drugs, to put an end to the tent cities and to bring our loved ones home drug-free. Today, I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to recognize the inflation crisis he has caused and announce that he is axing his carbon tax and putting in place a plan to get rid of his inflationary deficits. We are prepared, because of the gravity of the situation, to put our differences aside and work with him to axe his carbon tax and to balance the budget to bring home lower prices, because we will always put Canadians first. It's common sense, the common sense of the common people united for our common home. Let's bring it home. Thank you. Any questions?
Oui, en français pour Radio-Canada. Selon le Globe and Mail, la présidente du Conseil du Trésor, Anita Anand, donne un ultimatum à ses collègues pour qu'ils
gave an ultimatum to her colleagues.
de leur ministère qui va équivalent à 15 milliards de dollars. Qu'est-ce qui devrait être coupé
What should be cut as a priority,
et est-ce que ce sera suffisant?
and will it be enough?
Mais premièrement, il y a beaucoup de
First,
coupures.
there's a lot of cuts that the Liberals have promised but have never been delivered. Justin Trudeau promised that he would eliminate $3 billion of spending when arriving in power. He's found no savings. However, he inflated the cost of contracts to firms like McKinsey and other connected firms and expensive firms, which has doubled up to $21 billion. That's a lot of waste for work that could be done within the government instead of being contracted to large businesses who charge us $2,000 a day for each consultant. And that's just an example. The ArriveCan app, another waste of money, $54 million. These types of spending waste our money, and I suggest a law that is dollar for dollar. The law would force ministers to find $1 in savings for each new dollar of spending. This will force discipline, fiscal discipline, that each single mother, each businessman, each person of the working class has to do in their own personal lives. Politicians should do the same. Thank you. And do you think 15 billion is enough? Response: they'll never do it. She can give any number, any amount, but Justin Trudeau is unable to deliver because he is incompetent and he loves wasting money. He's never going to respect his commitments for spending. He promised a 10 billion deficit max, and now he's added more than 500 billion to our national debt. So we cannot trust Justin Trudeau when it comes to our money, because he is incompetent, who loves spending other people's money, because he never has to pay the bill. So he's not worth it. He's not worth our time.
All right, that is Opposition Leader and Conservative Federal Party Leader Pierre Poilievre speaking to reporters in Toronto this morning, just sort of outlining his concerns with the Liberal government in terms of inflation, cost of living, housing, etc., saying that Canada needs a common sense solution, and he's suggesting that he has the plan.